What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about who's going to be the more attractive free agent, Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard. So let's see what they have to say about that.
There's no such thing as way better than Kawhi. There's only a tiny little bit better than Kawhi. He's an amazing two-way player. So you don't think so? He's a Finals MVP. He averages, he's the leading scorer on a playoff team making a deep run. He's one of the greatest defenders who ever lived. He's 4 years younger. When I say way better, Max, I mean the debate would last all of about 3 seconds. It's no disrespect to Kawhi. I like Kawhi a lot.
He's not KD.
You're right, he's a little better.
In a
room of management, we're saying, are we going after KD, healthy, or Kawhi? That debate lasts 3 seconds. We're going after KD. I wouldn't say that's true. By the way, Jerry West was the original guy to compare Kawhi to Michael Jordan. Jerry West targeted Kawhi. If you ask Jerry West, who probably knows more basketball than anyone, who the best player in the league is, I've heard him refer to Kawhi that way in the not-too-distant past. I don't think you're right about that. You may be right that the majority of executives would prefer KD. He's taller, right? And he's a purer scorer. That's easy to see.
Max,
but
pick up the phone.
Younger?
Pick up the phone, Max. Pick up the phone and call Jerry West and ask him what he feels about KD.
Well, are you dialing right now? Everyone who ever lived knows KD is a great player. I'm talking about if you had your druthers, even if you like KD a little better, he's 4 years older.
I'm gonna say
Not
it
a
one
year
more
and a half.
time.
4 years
Pick up
old.
the
31 to
phone
35
and call
doesn't
Jerry
scare
West.
me at all.
You have access to him. Pick up the phone and call him.
So I would definitely have to say that I'd have to go with Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is a scoring machine. He's 7 foot. He's got a jumper from anywhere. And that's just, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But so Kawhi Leonard, I think he's a great scorer, but he's a great defender too. So I would say Kawhi Leonard is as good on offense as he is on defense. He's more well-rounded for doing offense and defense, while Kevin Durant is just a scoring machine and he can defend. But Kevin Durant is more better on offense than he is on defense. So I probably have to go with Kevin Durant with the situation of picking the two, because like I said, Kevin Durant is a scoring machine, and if he gets his mind right, he can probably go down as the all-time scorer in the NBA and pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I could definitely see that happening. I don't know if I can necessarily see that with Kawhi, even though he's younger, but I say Kawhi is the more well-rounded player. So Kawhi Leonard is as good on offense as he's good as on defense, and he does both of those excellently. But I would say Kevin Durant is better on offense than Kawhi is on offense too. So I don't know. I'd definitely go with Kevin Durant though. It wouldn't be easy, but I'd go with Kevin Durant. So let's keep going.
You guys a little bit earlier, while you're dialing, Max, I listened to you guys a little bit earlier. Is this injury worse for KD or worse for the Warriors? And we can all see what's going on with the Warriors right now. We can all see that offense is hitting on all cylinders. But here's the deal. Portland is the perfect opponent for the Warriors without KD. Portland is the perfect opponent to see Steph and Klay go off. And before this entire thing is over, the KD injury is going to be worse for the Warriors than it is for Kevin Durant. If they face off against Giannis, and it looks like they will, and the Bucks in the finals, then we're going to remember how much KD was not a luxury, but a necessity to this project.
So, okay, I don't know if you can necessarily say that, because you can. I remember them saying the same thing about the Houston Rockets. Oh, there's no way the Golden State Warriors are going to beat the Houston Rockets without Kevin Durant, yada, yada, yada. And not only did they beat them in 6 games instead of 7. So to say that the Golden State Warriors won't be able to beat the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis, I find that kind of hard to believe, because if you look at, I'd say Giannis and James Harden they're not really comparable, but they're both that type of caliber player that are game changers and that are the most dominant on their teams. And I can see the Golden State Warriors handling Giannis the same way they would handle James Harden in terms of being a superstar that you need to worry about and maybe possibly lock down everybody else while their superstar, you make their superstar win the game for them. So I don't really see, I think it can be done without Kevin Durant. They can definitely beat Milwaukee without Kevin Durant. And what tells me that straight up is they've done it before. When they won their first title, they won it with what? Steph, Draymond Green, Klay, Bogut, all those guys. So if they've been there before. So I can see them definitely winning. It's just they had a luxury of having Kevin Durant this whole time. But it didn't take them long to revert back to the original crew. And the original crew's been putting in work. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Will, the other thing that I want you, because, again, my voice, just handle this with Max.
Okay.
Watch Kawhi. There's a lot of dribbling that's going on and a lot of activity before he shoots. KD could be on the bench. He's watching everybody shoot, do their thing, and then all of a sudden things are not going right, and KD says, okay, give me the ball. Let me stop this bleeding. Now go back to your regularly scheduled programming. That's KD.
I will tell you this.
Kawhi loves having the ball, as great as he is, and I've seen him stop the bleeding himself. I'm not taking anything away from Kawhi because he is great. But KD offensively is on another level.
Well,
so I would definitely say that that is true, that Kevin Durant can come in and change the game when something goes wrong. But as far as Kawhi, I think it's kind of like you're talking about apples and oranges. Because for one thing, Kawhi is the number one player on his team, and he's always going full speed. I don't ever see Kawhi Leonard, kind of taking a step back and let the rest of his teammates take care of business, and then when something goes wrong, he comes in and tries to clean it up. I don't see that with Kawhi. Kawhi's always going hard. He's always trying to stay on top of his game. He's always never let things get out of control. So there's not really a time where I see Kawhi Leonard come in and, now Kawhi's playing. Now, he's coming in to dominate. He's always doing that. Now, as far as Kevin Durant, I do see Kevin Durant kind of take his foot off the gas and let Steph and Clay and Draymond kind of take over while he rests, if you want to call it that. And then as things start getting out of control, he'll come on in, put the team on his back, and really start putting in work. But Kevin Durant has that luxury. Kawhi Leonard doesn't have that luxury. He can't do that. So as far as that, I would say Kawhi Leonard is probably just stays, keeps his foot on the gas, and Kevin Durant doesn't have to. But if he had to, he could. I definitely see him do it. If there was no Steph and Clay and Draymond, I could see Kevin Durant taking over like that, but he just doesn't have to. So let's keep going.
I'll say this. Offensively, KD is a better player than Kawhi by a little bit, in fact. And even defensively, KD's gotten to be an elite defender. Kawhi's a better defender. But I'll tell you this playoffs, we've had a chance to compare the two, and they were the two best players in the playoffs. And until KD's injury, Kawhi was measurably better. Hold on. It was close, but by every single metric. Look at plus minus, look at PER, look at the counting stats that you like so much. Look at the supporting cast that makes it easier or harder for him. Kawhi was having objectively the best playoffs, even better than KD was having the second best playoffs in basketball at the point.
In
which way was that trending?
KD has to share.
No, look at the last two games Kawhi has played. Look at Game 7 against the Sixers and look at Game 1 against the Bucks. Which way is it trending, though, Max?
But that's not fair because
KD's
less
not still playing. His shooting percentages are going down. He's wearing out. He's on the court way too long. This Kawhi statistical game you're playing doesn't last over the long haul.
Several reasons.
So you want to say that Kawhi Leonard has better stats and all that. It's because obviously, like Stephen A. said, that he's the primary ball handler. He's their number one star. So he's going to get the ball the most. His stats are going to be a little bit more chunkier than everybody else's. And now as far as Kevin Durant, and Max even said that their stats are kind of the same, if not Kawhi's a little bit better. Well, that just points that Kevin Durant, if their stats are almost the same, and Kevin Durant is not necessarily the main guy for his team, because he can defer to Steph or he can defer to Clay, and if their stats are still the same, then I mean, just imagine if Kevin Durant was only by himself. If he was the only superstar, that means his numbers would probably be even better than Kawhi's. Because if Kevin Durant's sharing time with other superstars on his team, and his numbers are just as good, if not a little bit better than Kawhi's, and Kawhi is his only primary guy on his team, then that means Kevin Durant's numbers got to go up because he's going to get more touches with the ball. He's going to have more responsibilities. So, I don't know. This is kind of hard to argue, but this kind of favors Kevin Durant a little bit, depending on how you look at it. So, let's keep going.
For that. Number one, that's not fair because I'm being fair and saying let's stop it at the point KD got hurt so we can compare apples to apples. You can compare them directly. They were both great. As I'm saying, Kawhi was a little better. 1, 2. That's the whole point. Kawhi does not have Steph and Clay. He doesn't have them. If you want, like Kyle Lowry, what do we complain about? Can he come through in the playoffs? Siakam, there's not even one other all-star really on the team. No four-star players. Therefore, Kawhi draws much more attention. They're rubbing double teams about him all the time.
Yeah, but Max, he draws more attention on that because he's the only one and everybody knows it. Well, if his numbers are just a little bit better than Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's not always the primary shooter or star on his team, then Kevin Durant's numbers can only go up if he turns into the primary shooter, the only guy like Kawhi. That's what that points to. So let's keep going.
In spite of that, he was more efficient than KD.
You know why I don't like listening to Max on this subject? Because Max will say all of that and be incredibly defiant, which I respect. But then you'll remind us how great you know KD to be. And what I'm saying to you is this.
You invented that move.
No, what I'm saying to you is this.
Called the Stephen A.
I'm telling you right now, KD, once again, you're interrupting because you know my voice is jacked up. And I can't talk over you. But at the end of the day, no, KD is all world. So make a decision and just leave it at that because you disrespect.
So look, how many times, what, a week or two ago, when the Golden State Warriors were playing the LA Clippers, remember when Kevin Durant was kind of getting beat up by Patrick Beverley? What did Stephen A. Smith say? He said, oh, there's no way that, Kevin Durant's the best player. I messed up. I'm sorry, Max Kellerman. I said that Kevin Durant's the best player. There's no way he's the best player. It's still LeBron James. I don't even know what I was thinking, saying that Kevin Durant was the best player in the league. He's up there getting beat up by Patrick Beverley. Kevin Durant, he's skinny. He's getting pushed around by Patrick Beverley. There's no way he's the best player. Oh, and now, 2 weeks later, Kevin Durant is all world. He's the best. And Max, don't disrespect Kevin Durant and yada, yada, yada. Just flip-flopping left and right. You got to stay consistent, guys. You got to stay consistent. So let's keep going.
Respecting him the way you talk about him.
Hold up.
He's just too great for you to say that.
So say what? To say that Kawhi's better, so you're disrespecting Kawhi.
Because you're ignoring the fact that KD has to defer to some degree because of who he's playing with. Kawhi don't have to defer.
He doesn't have to. But and Max, just yesterday, you dumped on Kawhi. No, in game 1 against Milwaukee, Max, you dumped on Kawhi. You said Kawhi was a bad passer. You said Kawhi, he needs to get more arc on his shot. You guys were dumping all over Kawhi Leonard yesterday for game 1 when they played against the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. So both of you guys are flip-flopping. You need to decide who's the best player and stick with it. Maintain it. If anything, don't put anybody that's being the best player. They say this guy is really balling right now. So let's keep going.
Anybody.
No, in fact,
he's head and shoulders
KD is
the number one option.
Wide open because of who he's playing with.
Please, but KD's been doing it ever since he came into the league. He was doing it at Texas.
We're not talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about right now, brother.
No. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about right now. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. KD has been doing what he's done his entire career.
That's
even
great.
At the University of Texas as a freshman.
So
this
Stephen
man
A,
was doing this.
If you want to compare careers, go ahead. We're talking about who's the baddest man on the planet right now. KD.
It's got to be KD. It's because KD is an offensive scoring machine. So KD is a better player offensively than Kawhi Leonard is on offense or defense. Let's put it like that. So Kevin Durant is a better offensive player than Kawhi Leonard is on offense and defense. But Kawhi Leonard is well-rounded in offense and defense, and is probably a better defender than Kevin Durant. But I still want to go with that scoring machine, that 7-foot scoring machine, Kevin Durant, all day, every day. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
We'll say right now.
I did say KD.
He's not making a career thing.
I did say right now.
I said last year as well when I argued with you about LeBron as well.
I said it last year. I said it right now. I've been saying it all year.
He is.
We do 240 shows a year, and anytime we bring up KD, I say the same thing. So I don't know why you asking me right now.
Stephen A. Smith accusing me of prefacing, saying something about a player by talking about how great he is. That is called, what was the movie called about bowling that the Farrelly brothers did, right?
Kingpin. I have a response to that.
Remember pulling a Munson? That's called pulling a Stephen A. When you compliment the player before you, that's called a Stephen A.
I have a response to that. That's because, number one, I'm far more critical and definitive, and number two, I actually report. So I have to go and report and talk to them as well, and I'm arguing with them half the time to their face. So I get to do that.
Who's this? Now, I know this guy is the greatest player ever, and he's tremendous all-world and et cetera, but that's called a Stephen A.
Max, anybody that watches this show